One thing I've learned in my alone season is that just because you're going through this season alone or feeling like you're alone doesn't mean that this is a season of loneliness. For me, I'm not exactly sure how I got to this point or to the point where I felt and wanted to be, like needed to be alone for healing. I'm not exactly sure how I got there. I don't remember if it was intentional in the beginning, but I chose to embrace it. I chose to be alone and be okay with being alone. And in this video, I want to share for those who, whether you went into it intentionally or unintentionally, some things that happen when you're in your alone season. And this season, how it plays out is really a decision, your decision. And I did some things that really transformed my life in my season of being alone. For me, when I realized that, okay, I'm alone, I thought it was because like I was unworthy. I think that's what it was in the beginning. I thought like I was down in the dumps, like I was just disconnected from people. And what I really realized is that I was actually kind of in the middle, like I don't want to call it limbo, but in the middle, where the people who I kicked it around, which I love dearly, they're not in the same alignment as me. So they're like, I love you, but I'm not going to spend all my time with you. I'm not going to spend energy and resources, I guess you would say, being around you because you're not fitting into the person I want to be. And I know that's kind of harsh, but like it's true. Like there's people and friends, even family, who you outgrow, where they are still at whatever level they are of consciousness or awareness or in their journey, or some of them aren't even on any type of journey. They're just living life like living to die. Like they're just on this path, like going downwards. And I still love them. I still pray for them and I still spend time with some of these people, but I was purposely cocooning myself so that I could be protected against certain mindsets, certain tendencies, certain thought processes that I did not want to be around, because I do understand that the 3 to 5 people that you kick it around, you inherit their tendencies, their mindsets, their beliefs. That's why they said birds of a feather flock together. It's such a real quote, it's such a real truth, because we do become like the people we kick it around. I'm not saying in every single case that's what happens, but energetically and mentally it is so. It's like if you're kicking around a whole bunch of people who are drinking and you quit drinking, more than likely, unless you are very strong-willed, you're going to end up drinking because you're constantly around that person, constantly around these people. So for me, I decided that, okay, I want to separate myself. It was more like changing my habits, learning, growing, taking courses. I realized like I am not the same as I used to be. I'm not. There are some things about me, my core, that is true. It's the same. It's authentic. It's me. It's who I've always been. But the other parts of me have evolved. They have grown. I have let certain things die within me and outside of me. I've gotten rid of things. I've forgiven. I have blocked, I have removed, I have taken on different things that I didn't before. And in this middle ground, I'm trying to get to the point where I have these friends. Like a lot of people spend a lot of time, well, this is more our ego, our pride, right? We kick around people, we're like, oh, we're the smartest one, so it makes us feel good, or we know a lot of information, so it makes us feel good. A lot of people are like that. And for me, I don't want to be like that. I want to be around people where they're more successful than me. They're like out there getting it more than me. They have more money than me. They have made it, because I want it to be where when I'm around these people, I want to stretch, versus when you're around people who are, again, I don't want to say like lower than you. It's not about the status or like they're below you. It's like they're just, the way they think is not the same as yours. And I want to be around people who make me think bigger, make me think different, challenge who I am, not in a sense of like being rude or disrespectful or trying to sway me, but like they make me rethink the things I learned, the things I was programmed to believe throughout my lifetime since I was a kid. And I want those individuals in my life. And I know that the person I want, like the person who has those type of friends, I understand what she has to be like, what she has to do. And I understand the confidence she has to have, the detachment, the boundaries. Like there's so many things that it takes to really attract those type of people into your circle, unless of course you grew up in like a more elite type of environment. And so getting uncomfortable and really just loving on myself, getting to know myself has been a journey. But the lonely part, that's where people like, when you get lonely in the alone season. And that's what I want to talk about, because I went so deep into it that there was times when I actually got depressed. I got really bad anxiety where I would check my phone like a psychopath because I was just hoping someone would reach out because I was so used to always reaching out to everyone else. And I now don't do that. Like I've mentioned, I think in other videos, I'll put my phone in another room. I won't respond to people who I just don't want to respond to. Like I'm not obligated. I have a total different mindset than I did like a year and a half ago when it comes to this stuff. I think there's a power in a woman that can be alone. I think that a woman who is able to be on her own by herself and kind of pave her own way. Not saying that community isn't important. It's not about that. It's like when you can learn that, it's easier for you to detach, because when you're able to be alone, you're not worried. You're not going to be as easily swayed by people and things that like just don't align, like things that aren't for you. Like somebody wants to go on a date, you're cool because you're like, you know what? This is not the guy that I want to date. This is not the guy that I want to marry. It's not the type of man that I see my kids being raised around. So you won't go on a date with him. Whereas a person, the other version of you that is, in her 30s maybe, or maybe you're in your 20s, but if you're in your 30s or your 40s, you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I don't have that much time. Like, my eggs are expiring. You're thinking all these negative things and you're going on dates with people who are like, are, no offense, lower than you. And I don't mean lower, like I'm not trying to say it in a disrespectful way, but like they're just not up to your standard. They don't really deserve you. And I get that the men who end up being with you are the ones who always are like, I don't deserve you. Like, because they're like, wow, this woman, you are so great. You're so amazing. I get that. But I'm talking about the men where they literally don't even deserve to get any of your energy, any of your knowledge, any of your peace, any of your vibe. I think the only way that you figure that out is by getting to know yourself and being okay with being alone, especially if you have an anxious attachment and you're easily just like, I'll go with this guy, I'll do this, you're very anxious about those things. Then I believe the season of being alone is so impactful. Like I said before, it taught me so much. Like I'm able to detach from so many things, people, just mindsets, being able to communicate boundaries. I'm not perfect. There's times when I go backwards, but working on it. And that's what I mean. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about, I think, 3 to 5 things, maybe a little more, 3 to 5 things that you can discover when you're in this season of being alone, not being lonely. When you're able to be alone, you'll be more magnetic. People kind of mysterious because they're like, oh, this girl's going on a date by herself, or this girl is happy, doing her puzzle or pottery or going to her dance class or her gym by herself. Like she doesn't have to have anybody. When she chooses to be around people or her community or her girlfriends or this man or her family, she chooses it. She doesn't have to be. It's not an anxious like attachment type deal. It's not I have to do this or what's it called? Feeling obligated to do it. She just does it because she wants to. This woman might seem more mysterious because they're like, what is she doing at this bar, eating her own meal by herself, or going to the spa by herself? Who is this woman? I want to know more about her. You become more magnetic. And I'm not saying this happens in every case, because if you want those type of results, I guess you would say, you still have to be healing through the journey. It's not just about, oh, I want to be alone and I want to be detached from people and I'm mad and I don't care. Like, it's not just about that. I know I say that a lot, like I don't care, but I don't mean it like in the sense of I literally don't care. I do care about a lot of things, but there's certain things that I stopped putting energy toward. Another thing that happens when you decide to separate yourself and be in your kind of cocoon is that you will start to meet yourself. You will start to listen more. Like for me, being silent. I could sit in a room, like I like to wake up earlier so that nobody's awake, and just being quiet where there's nobody talking. It's just me and my thoughts, me and God, and just chill, meditate, pray, whatever. I like that. I like going on walks and not listening to music and not having other like thoughts and ideas just kind of going in my ear. I don't do this every time. A lot of times I do listen to podcasts, and books and YouTube videos, but I'm able to be alone with my thoughts. And I've had so many great ideas that have came from being alone with my thoughts because I was able to actually hear myself. I was able to tweak thoughts that I had that were not serving me as well. So being alone gives you an opportunity kind of for silence, for awareness, for meditation, for self-reflection. And if you take advantage of that, it's such a powerful, powerful tool. Another thing that happens when you're in this sort of season is that you will start to be more comfortable in your own skin. You'll start to appreciate yourself. You'll start to have more gratitude. You'll start to feel worthy. And again, this is because you're doing this healing work. You're getting to know yourself. You're starting to see the beautiful parts of you. You're starting to embrace the things that maybe other people or the world were didn't embrace, or the stereotypes, like, or not stereotypes, the media didn't embrace, because they say this is not, attractive, or this is this, or whatever. And how I got to that point, how I came to this conclusion, is I did a social media detox. And I think I might do a video on that, like a dopamine type detox, what I did. And I basically got off Instagram. I still took advantage of YouTube, and there was moments where YouTube even can get to you, and I had to do certain steps so that I wouldn't look at videos that were, I had to focus on the videos that I purposely wanted to watch, like not just scrolling on YouTube, because that can happen, and it's happened to me for sure before. But I had gotten rid of Instagram and all other social media. I had a TikTok account, even though I never used it, just had it so I could save my name. I think it was Twitter, but whatever social media I had except for YouTube, basically, I got rid of it. And Pinterest, I kept Pinterest too. But I got rid of it. And I was off Instagram for like almost 6 months, or it might have been 6 months, until like a week ago. I went on there to see because I want to start posting things, because I have all these things I want to post. But then I'm like, do I really want to go on Instagram? Like, I kind of like the freedom. I kind of just like YouTube. So I don't know if I'm going to go back on Instagram. You could take advantage of like deactivating your accounts, or muting, blocking people, or starting a whole new page and not following anybody. There's a lot of ways to do it, but doing those things changed me. Like, I took the text message icon folder, whatever, off my home screen on my iPhone. So I wasn't looking at text messages. I was less tempted to look at them. I also made it so, like, when I have my work focus with my iPhone, where text messages don't go through, like they're muted, and just different things that I needed to do to kind of keep myself focused on what I needed to do, which was creating, which was growing, which was healing. Because I didn't want my season of being alone to be a season of just loneliness. I wanted it to be transformation. I wanted it to be where I'm able to be and feel better, which I do. I totally do. I mentioned earlier about detachment. That would be the next thing I would say, is I really was able to practice detachment. Like, I got good. I'm not excellent at it. There are certain people, I would say, that are more triggering, that will make me bring up more of my anxious attachment style. And I know this about myself. So I try to separate myself from those individuals as much as I can, whenever I can. But in general, being more secure and being able to detach from outcomes and people, and not get so stuck in like, I want this to work. I want to control it. I want this person to see me, all these things, letting that stuff go, because that came from a root from when I was a child, and I did a lot of work on this stuff, and I'm still working on it. So learning how to master those things, like detachment and your boundaries, and communication skills, and maybe your relationship with yourself. A lot of us want to be in relationship with other people, but we haven't worked on the relationship with ourselves. This self-reflection time was just powerful for me. It taught me how to kind of hold my older self, like see her and say like, okay, you brought me this far and I'm grateful, but I have to let you go now. You have to, for lack of a better word, die so that I might live this new version of me. And I've been slowly dying to myself, if you want to put it that way. I've been slowly upgrading myself, and it feels great. Like, I feel great. And I see so many examples, like not just from me, like I could see the fruits of my labor by how people interact with me and react to me now. Like, it was totally different when I was in my hiding cocoon season of being alone. Total different interactions. Now the interactions are like 360, or not 360, 180, totally different. And it's so cool to see that, so cool to see the growth. I want to say what I just mentioned was really going into my next point, which is setting down what is heavy. That's what I noticed in this season of being alone. I was able to set down the things that were heavy to me, the burdens I was holding on to, the traumas, like by doing somatic work, by walking, by journaling, by crying, by getting angry, by, screaming in the car, by throwing a pillow on the floor, just doing all these various things to be able to release the anger, to release the emotions that were stored up in my body. Because for a very long time, I did anything and everything to mask pain. I did not want to cry. I did not want to be vulnerable. I did not want some guy to hold me. I was always like, stay there. You stay there. You stay over there, I'm going to stay here. And I didn't do this not always in a very like abrupt or in your face way. A lot of this time it was just emotional, energetically, like people could feel that. And I think that's why even the good men I had in my life, they probably left, because they realized, oh, she's not making herself available to me. She's not healed. She's still holding on to things. She's still hurt. So the secure men I met, they they fled. I mean, I should say they fled. I pushed them away. And then the avoidant men, I was chasing them. And then the anxious men, they were chasing me. Now I'm moving towards a secure attachment, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's a beautiful thing. I think I could hold more space for myself and for another individual in the future whenever that time comes, but I'm not looking. Another thing you might find when you're in this season is that you may become more open to doing new things, trying new things, experiencing new things, doing things that you never did before. You might, for me, like, there's videos you might have seen on my page if you've been around for a little while where, like, I did a video where I was sitting outside. I was sitting outside recording, and it made me so nervous, like so nervous, because I don't like to be seen. It's weird. Like, talking on a camera is weird to me. I love recording people. I love recording moments, but as soon as somebody flips the camera on me, I'm like freaking out, freaking out, getting nervous, stuttering, all the things. Being in this alone time has helped me get more comfortable with doing things afraid. Every time I do it, it just keeps strengthening that muscle to get more excited, more courageous, more brave out there. And you may find that for yourself when you go and you decide to take this time to yourself. This season, like I said, it could be loneliness, or it could be alone, where you're building, your head is down, you're tucked, you're just like, you're ready, you're going after it. Whether it's, like I said, hustling, or if it's relaxation. For me, it looked like relaxing, rest. It looked like recharging. It looked like literally cocooning like a butterfly, turning from this little girl, hurt little girl, to a woman who knows who she is and who is accepting herself, her flaws and all, who is not worried about what another person thinks about her. There are moments where I slip. I'm not perfect. But overall, I'm at a whole different space than I've been. I'm working on things like anger, because there's a lot of anger. Still working on releasing a lot of the anger I have towards myself and towards other people. And that comes out in different ways. And it could also be because of my environment, because I'm literally in a house with the people who I was raised with. I mean, I was raised by, raised by, and it could be that too. But this process has been such a blessing. It's so freeing. It's so encouraging. It's so great. And so I do challenge you to look into whether this season, or this not even a season, whether it's just a week, a few days, get alone, go to a staycay, go travel somewhere, go do things alone. It will change your whole life. From my mother, I am an only child, and my father, I have my siblings. I have 4 other siblings. So I grew up in a household with just me. And then I also have my little cousin, who was kind of like a little sister growing up. But in general, in the house, I grew up alone. So I was used to being alone, but not alone in a sense of peace, alone worried, alone and anxious, alone and sad, alone and depressed, alone and wanting to give up. And now I could be alone and brave. I could be alone and chase after what I want. I could be alone and reflect. I could be alone and just sit in whatever I'm in. And me being able to practice these things is going to be so useful when other things happen, when bad things do happen, because bad things always happen at some point, right? I can process it better than maybe I would have 5, 10, 15 years ago. So let me know, if you're going through this season of facing yourself, inner work, and diving into it, really, really trying to work on building you, creating this version of you that you say you want to be. Let me know. You could email me if you don't want to put it in a comment, however you would like to contact me, and let me know how if any of these things help, because I didn't want to give you the whole rundown of everything, because there's so many things that have changed, but these are like the biggest things I noticed about myself personally when I was doing these things. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry if the video quality was a little bad. I'm recording later than I normally record because gotta work so that I could fund my creations and my goals and this channel too, as it's going to be building. So I love you so much. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. With all my love, Lana.